Hello, hello. So excited to be talking to you today about unstuck, getting unstuck. I am one of those nerdy coaches who loves this subject. And the reason I love this subject is because I know with complete confidence how to get someone unstuck. So away we go. I'm Kristen Dabney. I am a master's educated counselor and I'm a life and career coach through the Life Coach School. But none of my qualifications really matter to you. You want to know, can I get you unstuck? And the answer is yes, come along. So these are some signs you might be stuck. You feel bored, indecisive, worried, not creative, confused. This is just the beginning of the list, right? There might be way more things you're feeling, but the feelings are what drive the actions. And the actions when you're bored or not creative or confused are often overthinking, spinning, ruminating, focusing on the past, not really focusing on the future. And those are not actions that are going to get you unstuck, right? So here's the good news. No matter your circumstances right now, no matter your job or your partner or whatever you consider to be the challenge, the reason that you're unstuck, nothing outside of you has to change in order for you to get unstuck. At least not yet. We're going to take some baby steps. We're going to get you moving and grooving without quitting your job, leaving your industry, ending your relationship, running away, no matter how much you might fantasize about these things. Okay, so everything I'm going to share with you today is based on the truth, the universal truth, that our thoughts create our reality. You've heard this in all sorts of ways about, what's the term self-fulfilling prophecy? Like what you're thinking about is what you create. And because we are 100% responsible for our thoughts, nobody can tell us. Well, people can tell us what to think, but nobody can actually force us to think anything that we don't want to think. And that's even true for a child. Have you never taken a toddler to the grocery store and said, you may not have that candy? And the toddler thinks, yes, I do want that candy. And I'm now going to have a temper tantrum because I want that candy. You can't force that child to think, I don't want candy. That's not very healthy for me. In fact, it might ruin my dinner, right? So an example of how our thoughts create our reality. And again, because we are 100% responsible for those thoughts, then we get to be 100% responsible for our reality. So here are 3 causes of stuckdom. Number 1, shoulds. Shoulds are a manual you have for yourself or for others. We're going to talk more about those in depth in just a moment. The second are limiting beliefs, things that you have been believing, thinking for so long that they become beliefs that are limiting you, that are creating ceilings in your life that are not serving you any longer. And the third is denying your desires. I have to say, it's rare that someone doesn't come with all 3 of those things when we begin to work together. I do find that when we are willing to speak what we most want, it does a lot to move us out of stuck, or at least kind of begin to have a path that we're going to follow. So we're going to start first with the shoulds. Where might you be following a manual that isn't serving you? So, your iPhone comes with a manual. Your oven comes with a manual. Your computer comes with a manual. People don't come with manuals, but we're like, that's okay. I'll just write one for you, right? So it's, when we're kind of thinking that someone shouldn't be doing what they're doing, that's a manual we have for that person. Or I shouldn't be feeling this way. That's a manual. That's like an instruction book that you are expecting yourself to follow. Totally fine if you get the results you want in your life from that manual, but so often we don't. And truthfully, manuals are not expectations. An expectation is something you have spoken, you have shared with someone else. A manual is quiet. A manual just lives in your brain and isn't spoken. So let's go through some things that are often in people's manuals. And these are exact examples of things I've worked with people on. I should stay married. Should. I should be grateful for my life. I should get another full-time job with benefits. This was spoken by a client who had just been laid off and had been dreaming about starting her own business. But her should was, I shouldn't go for that business. I should do what's safe and less risky, right? The one, I should stay married. Someone who'd been married for a great deal of time, 25 plus years, and decided that until I've really tried everything, I should stay married. Well, what's everything, right? I should be grateful for my life. In other words, I should not desire more. I should just be so content that this is what I have. You see how we do this? I should worry. I had a client who literally thought it was the wisest thing in the world to worry about a relative, because if she wasn't worrying about this relative, she wasn't showing love and care. How do you think that was serving her? What kind of reality was she creating for herself? Back to, I should be grateful for my life. I should just be content. I should have gotten that promotion. I deserve that promotion. I should have been the one to have been chosen, right? I shouldn't have gotten fired. I should have more money. That can either be like, the world should be giving me more money, or I shouldn't have spent so much money. I shouldn't weigh this much. I should be more ambitious. I hear this too, like, I'm pretty content with this part of my life. It's this part I want to sort of improve a bit, but should I be more ambitious with this part? There's no should. You get to decide. I shouldn't make mistakes. I should dot every I. My husband should fully support me. I should be further along. You see what we're talking about here. I should be able to make a decision. I shouldn't have to talk to you about this. I should be able to do this. So again, when we're saying should, we're following a manual that's not actually written down. And I'm going to invite you to question it. Why should you stay married? Why should you have gotten the promotion? Why should you be more ambitious? Is it because you actually desire to stay in the marriage? Did you actually desire the promotion? Did you actually desire more ambition? Okay, well then let's solve for that. Or is it just that it's just how it's supposed to go? This is how things are supposed to go. Now let's shift it away from you to another person. He, she. This could be a partner, a boss, a child, a relative, a mother-in-law. He should have found a job by now. I mean, tick-tock. He should have done it. He should make more money. He should just have more drive and ambition to make more money. He should not talk that way. He should be more romantic. She should stop judging me. That person should just stop judging me. They should have known better. Let's talk about a 16-year-old. They should know better. He should let me, whatever that might be, go away on more girls' trips, spend this money on this pocketbook, take on all the projects I want to take on. She should pick up her choice. I mean, you're setting yourself up for disaster there, right? They should show me more respect. He should have voted like me. She should have stayed married. He should not raise his kids that way. He should not have had that affair. She should validate me at work. She should assign me better projects. Can you kind of see where this is leading? Like dead end, dead end, dead end. So let me just say to you that what these shoulds are reflecting is actually reality. I did get fired. I am married. I maybe don't have my husband's full respect. That person did say A, B, and C to me. I did not get hired. That person didn't vote like me. That person did get a divorce, right? And when we're arguing with reality, we create suffering for ourselves 100% of the time. This is a Byron Katie concept that I absolutely love. So when you're saying, well, I should have gotten promoted. Well, I didn't get promoted. And instead of I should have, which kind of shuts down all creativity, creates some resentment. I'm not saying that you don't want to live in that space for just a moment or two, but you're not going to solve for anything if you stay in that space, right? So if you're arguing with reality that I should have been hired, then you are going to create your own suffering. The fact that you didn't get the job does not create suffering. It is the fact that your thoughts are, that's not how it should go. Can you see how thinking this way keeps you stuck? It just keeps you spinning in these thoughts that are often a bit of self-pity, certainly judgment about yourself or another. And I like to consider them like you're kind of in a riptide. You're just going to sort of keep cycling down if you stay in that space. Again, I'm not saying you don't feel some of these things initially like, oh, wow, I'm really disappointed I didn't get promoted. But another way would be like, I'm curious why I wasn't chosen. I'm curious where I didn't show up, where I haven't added the value that I assumed I had been adding. I'm wondering what conversation I can have with the person who interviewed me. Do you see how that's very different and definitely leads to more expansive thinking and reduces the stuck? Okay. So one of my favorites. She should still make her own marshmallows. um, so I'm saying add this to the chat, but I know that this is recorded. But think about what I might have missed. Are there some shoulds you have in your life that you're going, gosh, I often find myself saying should as it relates to, he should have emptied the dishwasher. There's a million of them, right? It shouldn't be raining today. Like, okay, well, that's going to create some suffering because there's nothing you can do about it, right? All right, let's move on to the next one. Where might you be telling yourself a truth, quote unquote, that is supporting your story that you are stuck? Away we go. This is where limiting beliefs come into play. I'm too old. It's too late. I'm not qualified. I don't have any choice. I have to do this. There are no good single men out there. This will be hard. Or maybe it's just too hard. It'll just take too much time. I can't do that. I don't even have the money. I don't have the money. Probably won't work. Do you see where we're going with this? My marriage was a sham. Someone did tell me that when a divorced woman I was working with. And by the end of our time together, she was like, my marriage was not a sham at all. It's complete. My marriage is complete. And as a result, these things happen in my life. And this is what I've learned. I'm too disorganized. There's no way I could have a tidy kitchen or office. He robbed me of my network. If someone sort of has done something to you that you think has sort of gotten other people on his side, right? Well, they'll think I'm shallow. Well, I'll always be a worrier. There's no way I can't worry. This is how I was programmed. Do you like that one? The one I also like is I can't lose weight. It's just, I come from a family where we just really can't lose weight. Okay. People will think I'm greedy, right? I've had this when people are scaling their business and their business is already at 1 million and they want to go up higher. I'm not even exaggerating here, friends. And people are like, well, the person would say, well, others are going to think I'm greedy. Okay, that's a limiting belief. How about think of all that I can do, the more money I create in this world. Let's say that you decide you don't want to work, you want to leave the job and you don't want to find another job. Others will think I'm lazy, right? Or people will think I'm not living up to my potential. If you decide you're going to leave this is when this one came up. Somebody I'm working with was leaving a corporate job to go found her own business. And she was like, people are going to think I'm crazy, right? I'm awkward at networking. I'm a terrible interviewer. It was all his fault. Someone else I know I was working with started our whole coaching relationship with, it's all his fault. Think of what happened as we decided to sort of unravel that thought and maybe challenge it a bit. Like, was it really all his fault? Fault is often a red flag for me when it's putting blame on someone else. I made some bad decisions. I like to say that you've made some decisions and some of them have worked in your favor and some have not. And then let's learn from them, right? Instead of bad decisions usually is a place where we can create some shame. I'm not ready. I can't do that yet. I'm just not ready. Well, ready is a state of mind, right? But you believing I'm not ready will create the reality for you that you're not ready. Stuck. Fewer trustworthy. That prevents you from expanding in relationships, right? Because you're stuck with this belief that very few people are trustworthy. It's too late to return to school. Fortunately, one of my midlife women decided that wasn't the truth for her any longer, as she's now pursuing her dream graduate degree. Nothing ever goes my way. Never goes my way. That's more like what a child would say, right? But a lot of times when we say these things, we sound like we're a child. We live in an emotional, or what do we call that? Emotional childhood, right? We're not living as an adult emotionally. We're living as a child. I'm not smart enough. There's no way I could even apply for that job. I'm not smart enough, right? Can you see, friends, how this way of speaking to yourself, these limiting beliefs create a limited reality? If you have told yourself you're too old, then you are too old. You will not do whatever it is that you think you can't do because of your age, right? It's too late. They'll think I'm crazy. They'll think I'm lazy. They'll think I'm greedy. Whatever it is, it's outside of you. First of all, too, we have not first of all, additionally, we have no control over what someone thinks of us. We pretend that we can probably elicit certain feedback or approval from others, but we really can't. Okay, limiting beliefs. This is my thought about limiting beliefs. Wah, wah. Debbie Downer much? One of my favorite SNL characters. That's just like looking through the lens of life is not fair, or this isn't for me, or basically all that's just not going to be possible for me. Not going to be possible for me. What does this sound like instead? If there's one thing I'm willing to bet on, it's myself. I just think that sounds like the opposite of a limiting belief. Like, I know that I will always show up. I'll always go the extra mile. I'm willing to do hard things. I don't mind discomfort. I'm never too old, never too poor, never too out of ideas. It's all my choice. Just think of how that shifts out of stuckdom, right? Love, love, love that one. Okay, and our final one. Where might you not be telling the truth about what you truly desire? This is a big one, friends. If there are any that are likely to provoke tears, it's this one. I find a lot of times the reason someone has just gotten themselves so buried and so mired and just like stuckdom is because they're not telling themselves the truth. They know what they really, really want. And they've decided that what they really, really want isn't possible for them because of the limiting beliefs. They're too old. It's not right. I made a commitment I can't get out of, whatever it might be, right? So here's some examples of things that you might desire. And I've heard all of them in my practice. And I celebrate every single person's desire. And I really push you to name more than one desire. And then don't judge the desire that it's greedy or shallow or not living up to your potential, or you're too old for this, or you can't do it because you should have someone else's support. Forget all of that. What do you most desire? A deeply, wildly passionate relationship, to make a lot of money, to look great naked, to be an influence in my industry, more time to myself. I hear that one a lot. I really desire some more time to myself, someone to take care of me, right? To leave full-time work and enter part-time work, to leave being an at-home mom and get part-time work. I want my own business. I've got this dream, this freedom, this idea of what I want. I want my own business. I want a beach house. That's another one. People are going to think I'm greedy. Who cares? Who cares? If you know I want a beach house, and then it's up to you to create that reality for yourself, think of how creative you're going to get, right? You don't want to say, I desire a beach house. He should make more money so I can get a beach house. That's going to keep you stuck, right? I desire a leadership role. I want a better marriage. I would love an easier life for my child. I'd love to have them have access to tutoring or camps or this kind of schooling or ... right? I would like another degree. I desire a raise. And I will mention to you that I am saying desire instead of want. Desire to me has a lot more passion and ambition in it, the word. I desire a luxurious vacation. I desire a lovelier home. I desire to retire. I desire a promotion. I desire my husband to do more at home. Better compensation, the lead role in my office or in a play or on the board. I desire to work remotely, even if we are now fully back in the office. I desire a healthier body, a little different sometimes than the naked body, but I've heard both. I desire a housekeeper. I'm done with cleaning my home. I would desire someone to help me with that. I desire fewer responsibilities. I desire to let go of guilt. I desire to rid myself of these shoulds. See how I'm looping it all back together now? I desire to let go of limiting beliefs. I desire to be honest about my desires. Could we really hang out in those bottom three right now? I desire to rid myself of these shoulds. When someone is willing to commit to catching all their shoulds, questioning them, and they really desire to get rid of them, they will get rid of them. When you desire to be aware of the limiting beliefs, like, gosh, am I really too old? And to really question, the way that you get rid of limiting beliefs is questioning them. Is it really true that it's too late for me? Is it really true that there are no good single men out there? Is it really true that I should have gotten that promotion? Is it really true that I need a full-time job with benefits even as a single woman instead of starting my business? Do you see what I'm saying? And then finally, I desire to be honest with my desires. I'm not going to hide anymore about what I most want. It does not mean you have to get on a bullhorn and tell everybody in your neighborhood what your biggest, greatest desire is, or 10 of them. But you do want to sort of put the bullhorn inside, like face it towards you, and make sure that the inner voice is making sure that the outer you and the brain you knows what your desires are. Here's just a little example. Yesterday, I really wanted wine. Now I'm drinking wine. Follow your dreams. So I like to just make sort of fun of some of this because it doesn't have to be heavy and deep and painful. It doesn't have to be. It can be if you'd like it to be, but it doesn't need to be. It can simply be fun and easy to finally release yourself of the shoulds, of the limits, of the ceilings, of the lies on your way to a life where you're not stuck. So again, you are 100% responsible for your thoughts. So I invite you to intentionally choose the ones that elevate you. And elevate is my word of the year. I love it so much. I have founded a private Facebook community for women in midlife called Midlife Elevated. And I'm hosting a mastermind for 6 months called You Elevated. Elevation to me is really about elevating the way we think, elevating our image of ourselves, elevating what we believe is possible. We can kind of go from impossible to possible to inevitable. That's called elevating. And this is exactly what I'm going to be doing with people. So if you're interested, there's more information on my website. I'd love to have you join us if this kind of work really resonates with you. And we're going to have a launch in person in Lynchburg at my home, September 9th through 11th. And I have invited these tremendous women to come and be our guest speakers and coaches. This is optional. This is a bonus if you choose to join the mastermind, that you can come and enjoy the company of these women. We have a New York City interior designer. We have an organizational expert. Oh, the designer from New York City, Tracy from Kansas City, Lori Chaplin, a joy expert, and a woman who really helps women, a coach who really helps women kind of release hurry and the burdens that might be on their soul right now. And she's coming in from Canada. And then Monica, who is integrative nutrition coach, and we'll be talking to us about really the unsticking the way you eat so that you can just soar. So I'd love you to meet my team. Oh, I guess it's just me. So again, I'm Kristen Dabney. I am a coach. I am the CEO of this business. I am the event planner. I do all my IT support. I'm the researcher and the writer. I do have a lovely intern, Olive. You'll see a picture of her right there where I'm holding her. And if this is the kind of work you'd like to spend some more time doing, I would love to be your coach and help you. So you think you're stuck. Go back now and think, if it's nothing outside of me, if it's not the job or the partner or the weight or the age or my finances, and it actually is a thought, a should thought, a limiting belief, and a desire I'm not being honest about, where could you make some shifts today? Could you commit today to thinking differently on your way to getting unstuck? I'm excited to hear what your intentions are, and I wish you all the best in soaring. This is your life, friend. It's time to soar.